Hi everyone. So in this video I want to discuss something really interesting about ArrayLists that I found, and there's a lot of methods for ArrayLists, for linked lists, and there are methods to convert arrays into ArrayLists and so on. There are methods for sorting, shuffling, all of that as well, and I'm not going to be going into all of those because methods are something you can go to the official documentation, or you can read them up online and just use them as it is. What I am going to do is show you something really interesting about a method that I found. But before I go into that, I just want to do something here. So I have a parent class here and a child class here that extends the parent class. These are both empty, but that doesn't really matter. What I want to do is I'll create a parent p equals new parent, and I'll create a parent c equals new child. This is actually possible because the reference is of type parent, but the object is of type child, which actually inherits the parent class. So this is fine. And if I do system.out.println and I do p.getClass.get simple name, and I'm going to do the exact same thing for C as well. So I do this for C, and let me just run this program. So I do java c test.java. I've misspelled system here, sorry about that. So I do a java test, and it is parent here and child here. So what that means is that this getClass.getSimpleName gives me the name of the class, actually the name of the class that the object belongs to, and not the reference. Um, I'd like to you to remember this. And now let's take a look at the thing that I was mentioning. So let's say I create a string array, str underscore arr, and I just store a couple of values here, and um, what I want to do now is I want to convert this to a list of strings. So what I need to do for that is something called arrays dot as list. This is a method in the arrays class. As list is a method in the arrays class, and I just have to pass this the array. So if I do this, this actually works fine, but I haven't told it to print anything. So this converts this to a list. What I want to do now is system.out.println. So yeah, the reason I'm doing this is because list is actually an interface in Java. It's not a class, and although I can have this str underscore list to be a reference of type list, but it needs to contain an object which belongs to a concrete class. So the object that this thing returns has to be of something like ArrayList or linked lists. It has to be a concrete class that the object belongs to. So I just want to find out what concrete class the return type of asList belongs to. So what I'll do is str underscore list dot get class dot get simple name, and this should give me, let me just clear the console, and if I do java test, okay, so this gives me array list right here. So that's that's the first part. Now let's just do something interesting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a system.out.println, and what I'm going to give this is a condition which is str underscore list instance of array list, And we just saw that str underscore list does indeed belong to the ArrayList class. So this should actually give us a true. So let's go back here and run this again. Sorry about that. Let's just run this again. And now I do Java test. It does say ArrayList, but it also gives me a false right here. So when I'm checking whether str underscore list is an instance of ArrayList, this is actually giving me a false. And that's something really interesting because it just said that str underscore list does indeed belong to the ArrayList class. Now, the reason behind this is something that you might notice if I remove the get simple name part. Let's go back here and do a Java C. And what this prints is class java.util.arrays $ArrayList. Now, the dollar symbol is used for nested classes, if you remember. So, this means that ArrayList is a nested class inside the arrays class in java.util package. But the ArrayList that we've been talking about till now is an ArrayList that just belongs to the java.util class. It's not actually nested inside anything. So what's going on here, the reason this gives us a false is because uh, the ArrayList that the asList method returns is is actually a static nested class inside the arrays class. So there are actually two ArrayList classes, or at least two. I don't even know what other classes may have a nested ArrayList class. But basically, one ArrayList class is the java.util.ArrayList, which we normally use, and the other one is java.util.arrays$ArrayList. So what would happen is if I do something like java.util.arrays$ArrayList, uh, this would have actually given me a true, but there's another issue here. Let's see what that is. Yeah, so I'm getting an error that says ArrayList has private access in arrays. So what that means is that the ArrayList class inside the arrays class is actually a private member. So I can't really access it like this here. So I won't be able to check whether this str underscore list is an instance of this ArrayList class. So that's the issue. So that's something that I wanted to show you about ArrayLists. So I just thought it would be really interesting. So I think that's it. I'll see you in the next video.